about, if ever there was somebody who played himself out of a Hall of Fame, it's Russell Wilson.
Really?
And I say that because look at what's happened ever since he left Seattle. When he was in Seattle, he was the man. He was making these good plays. He won a Super Bowl, went to 2 of them. But as soon as he left there, he went to Denver, signed that big old deal. They paid him $39 million to leave. He goes to Pittsburgh, plays there 1 year. He's out of there. Now he goes here and has 3 games. I just don't know if it's going to get any better. And I don't want to see him on a sideline holding a clipboard.
So you're very much under the "what have you done for me lately" thing, in taking away the first, decade of his career.
Absolutely, and I just don't think he's done himself any favor since he left Seattle. And I don't know how's it going to get better. See, like you talked about.
Tony Gonzalez says, Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez, top 3 tight end of all time. Tony Gonzalez has said that Russell Wilson is playing himself out of the Hall of Fame. Sheesh. He gave points. Jeff, you go last because obviously you feel some type of way about it. It's not even your quarterback. Like, why you feel so strong?
I'm a wait.
Yeah, you wait. Oh, go. Oh, what are your thoughts on this?
What? Here's my question: What constitutes him to be able? I mean, yes, he made it
Where
to
do
the
you
Super
get
Bowl.
off?
No, to be able to be in the. So, is he in the running right now for Hall of Fame? What makes him in the running to be able to make the Hall of
Well,
Fame?
the moment that you get in the league, you in the running for the Hall of Fame. It's up to you and the powers that be in the situations that you get yourself into, make or break that Hall of Fame status if you make it in or not. So like, it's from the very moment that he started his career.
Right. So the longer that you stay in the league, it can be at a detriment to you.
I don't agree with that. But go ahead. If
Is that
that's
what
what
we're
Tony
saying?
is saying, it seems like the longer
what
that
it
you
looks
stay in the league and you don't produce.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. But here's the thing. I agree, but I agree, but I disagree kind of a little bit. It's because, all right, so you stay in you stay in the league for a longer time. You end up on the sidelines. We don't get to see you no more.
Right.
What are we paying you for? What have you done to make you feel like that? Hitting that, but on the flip side, what you've done in the past and how you were and how you was able to be these phenom for the Seahawks, in terms of being a quarterback, having them reach it all the way to the Super Bowl twice. Is that enough, right? So yeah, you made it to the big show. So in saying this, if we're talking about if the duration of your time is what it is, then should you retire earlier when you're on top? So that's I don't know. I don't know. But that's just my take right now. Let me think on this a little bit. But go ahead, Rob.
Okay. Here's my take on it, man. He did Hall of Fame like things for a very long time.
Right.
The man has a Super Bowl, went to 2 Super Bowls. They halfway through every season, but like I think it was like a stretch of maybe like 5 years, maybe 3 to 5 years. They were saying like, oh man, this dude is like he's in contention for MVP and all of that type of stuff. But in the same token, when we see him and how he's playing now versus them getting the Seahawks, that is moving on from him and getting Geno Smith, you know what I mean? And then him producing at a high rate, you know what I mean, as well. It like, do we give credit to the talent or do we give credit to the coach? You know what I mean? Like, did you thrive in a system that you know what I mean? Like, there's a rap verse, there's a rap lyric, I'm gonna jack it up, but it was basically saying like a good system can turn a role player into a superstar, pretty much. And like, so now, like when we look at where Pete Carroll is and what him and Geno Smith have done in the past few years. Not that they've gone very far, or whatever. But Geno was on his way out the league, and in many respects was out of the league. You know what I mean? For them to be above 500 ball club now. I don't playing himself out of, but like, do you go off of that, or do you go off of what he's accomplished? And I'll say what he's accomplished is great things. You know what I mean? Like the passing yards, the running yards, and how they didn't come up with let Russ cook for no reason. You know what I mean? That wasn't for no reason that they came up with that. You know what I mean? The man was for a very long time in Seattle, like the only reason why you would go and see a Seattle Seahawks game. I think that is Hall of Fame worthy. And I don't think how you're producing now in the twilight of your career, because you're not going to say that about Brett Favre. You're not going to say that about an Aaron Rodgers if he doesn't produce. You know what
I
I mean?
would.
You're not.
I'm crazy.
Yeah, but like, the average person. But that's what you said. You said you're crazy. So like the average normal person.
Bro, you are absolutely right though. You're absolutely here, and here's the other piece of it. Like you spoke and you said it so quickly. That first of all, most players play this game to get a what?
A Super Bowl. Well,
And
shoot.
he has done that.
But
And one.
and I'll say this. I'll say this.
You're absolutely right. When
can
it
I
comes to
interject
that
real
thing.
quick? Can I interject
Yes.
just a moment?
Mhm. Go ahead.
Because and I'm gonna let you finish. Most players, let me make an addendum to what I said. Most players don't play to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Most players win
Wow.
for what reason? Like Keyshawn Johnson said, he was like, I play so that I can get my family out the hood and get every.
I mean, yeah, they got their wives.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
they got
not
their
every-
wives.
Yeah,
Right, right,
and not
right. They have
everybody
their
plays
wives.
not everybody plays for a Super Bowl. So, and that's what makes the Michael Jordans great, the Kobe Bryant's great. I would say that LeBron James is great, but he was like, it's just basketball, so we'll take you out the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, but that's the reason why the people that are great because they have that drive to win the Super Bowl and get back to the Super Bowl. I cut you off. Please continue.
No, you're good. You're good. I agree with that. But yeah, that's my whole thing. Is like, man, wait a minute. Let's not forget forget the fact that he actually won a Super Bowl. But go ahead, Jeff. Open your mouth.
I'm gonna sound
Open
like
your mouth is crazy.
that's wow. I'm gonna sound like a big hater, and I promise you I'm not, because I love Russell Wilson the person, right? But Russell Wilson the player, I have a problem with.
Okay.
Mm.
Everybody clear out. ISO and Jeff. I'm a mute my mic. Go ahead.
So like, I feel like he is a system quarterback, and it's not a shot at him, because like the system that made Tom Brady so great is what he took to Tampa Bay to be great there, right? But when Russell left Seattle and we were able to watch him be on his own devices in Denver, it went real bad, right? And then Sean Payton got there, and he's a super duper offensive mind and can coach pretty much anybody as a quarterback that really wants to be there. And he was like, nah, I need him gone, right? And then he goes to Pittsburgh, another player's coach, right? Everybody loves playing for Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin is known for like keeping a lid on craziness and getting everybody to work together towards a common goal. Because nobody knew about AB until he got money, and then he started bugging out on his own. But as soon as he left Pittsburgh, all this other stuff came out that nobody knew about, because Mike Tomlin is that kind of coach, right? And even he went, nah, you need to go. So I'm a firm believer in what you like. You are what your environment says. Everybody that was with him in Seattle was basically kicking his back in and saying like, it's the system. They only got the first Super Bowl because of the defense and the Legion of Boom, which is true, right? And then the second Super Bowl, because they didn't want to pay Marshawn Lynch, they gave him the keys and he threw an interception. That's how they lost the second game, the second Super Bowl. So like, He was on an upward trajectory, yes, but is the Hall of Fame not the Hall of Very Good, right? So he would have had a really good time, and if he would have left his career alone at Seattle, he would have been in contention, and there would have been an argument to put him in the Hall of Fame. Eli Manning beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. Is undefeated in the biggest game of the year against the best quarterback in history, and he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Watch your profanity.
Right. I'm sorry.
But like, I love Russ
Watch your
and what he,
profanity.
Right. I'm
I
sorry.
love Russ and what he's done. But as a
Watch
player,
your profanity.
Right. I'm sorry.
okay, I love Russ and what he's done, right? But I just as a player, if your teammates don't even vouch for you like that, there's got to be something for that. And just watching your career unfold the way that it has, I got more stock in what Pete Carroll was doing in Seattle than Russell Wilson. That's my take.
Are you the sum of what you've done, or are
In-
you the sum of what you've done lately?
In football, it's always what you've done lately. Everything, every decision in football, every decision is made based on what you've done for me lately.
No.
Anytime they don't do that, the team suffers for it.
Hall
And
of Fame,
I get what
Jeff.
and I get what you're saying. Like, what's his name? Joe Montana didn't have a whole lot of good in Kansas City, but he still made it to the Hall of Fame, right? There's got to be flashes of who you were. What I'm saying is
There's
that
flashes of he played well the previous game. He lit it up. They just so happened
against a
Cowboys
terrible defense. Against a terrible
but
defense.
he lit it up against the Cowboys. They just happened to pull it out.
I mean, listen, the Cowboys' defense is trash, and Dak Prescott just does a bunch of garbage time stats.
It's not my
There's a
fault
lot
that
of
y'all are trash. It's my job to capitalize on the trashness, which
and he
which
still
I
couldn't
did.
do that. I get it.
I'm not
And
the
his-
defense. I play one side of the ball. I'm not Travis Hunter.
I hear you, but I'm telling you
I
the
love
way that
double entendre.
the way that the NFL has been set up for years, right, wrong, or indifferent, just or unjust, it's always what have you done for me lately.
If we're talking Hall of Fame, it's not what you've done lately. It's what you've done in totality.
I don't know.
Because you know what I mean. Because Shannon Sharp, who talks about the Hall of Fame all the daggone time, like his career was pretty much done. He just wanted 2 catches per game. He wanted like 2 big catches per game. So if we basing that off of that, then he wouldn't have made the and he wasn't even a first ballot Hall of Famer. He was a third ballot Hall of Famer.
What I will say for this,
So
also,
my bad, but I'll say I'm gonna let you finish. But now I'll think, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? Maybe not, but he's going to get in there at some point.
and the argument could be made for eventually letting him in. That's what I'm about to say,
Okay.
right? Like my whole thought process in this is when you see a first ballot Hall of Famer, like unequivocally that man's going to the Hall of Fame, which is the only thing that's saving Aaron Rodgers right now. Because if we're doing it again based on recency bias, he's not playing well. You know what I mean? He's playing pretty decent, but from where he was and his normal standard of play is way different from where he's at right now.
He's game managing. Yeah.
Right. So like that's the argument that we have for Russell Wilson. Like he may get in, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I never thought of him as a clear-cut first ballot Hall of Famer. Like nothing about his game really stood out as like, oh, he needs to be in. You know what I mean?
Now.
N-
You
well,
talk about now.
now or before. He was really good at fourth quarter comebacks and stuff. Like he's got that like that no quit. We got to find a way to win. But a lot of the reason that they were coming from behind and stuff like that is because he made poor decisions earlier in the game. So like you just dug yourself out of your own hole. How much is what another offense is doing to your defense, and how much is it that you put them in a bad spot? You know what I mean? The ability to overcome that is one thing, and that was great, and he was good at that. But like, nothing jumped out as like he's definitely going to the Hall of Fame for me.
Right. I think he's a shoo-in personally, but I hear you. You make great points, Jeff. For sure, you're not an idiot. Far from. I'm not saying that you're. You know what I mean?
No.
We
I know.
just disagree. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And that's fine. I just, like I said, I don't think he's bad, but I don't know if I would put him immediately in. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't say immediately.
Yeah, we can concede there. I think we can meet there, right? Is he probably going to wind up first ballot?
I don't think so.
Second ballot Hall of Famer. Personally. I think there's something like Omari was saying, like there's something to be said about winning a championship, winning a Super Bowl. Whether
Yeah.
whether you were the
Trent
reason
Dilfer
for
won
it
the
or
Super
not.
Bowl though.
Huh?
Trent Dilfer won a
Wait,
Super
they
Bowl.
went to
Yeah,
didn't they go
they
to
went to
3?
two. No, they went to two.
They went to 2.
And then we beat them because he threw an interception straight to us.
Yeah, threw it right at him.
Right at him. I was like, I literally
remember
was
that.
packing up and ready to go home.
Because they should
I'll
have
never forget
gave it
that
to
day. I was like,
Marshawn.
what
They
the
should have gave
heck?
it to
Why the heck
Marshawn.
is he?
They should have
been-
gave it to him.
He was
So
going
you know,
off the whole game. They should
so
have
you
gave
know,
it to Marshawn.
because they didn't want to re-sign him, and they didn't want to put the fact to give him the negotiation
Mm-hmm.
that you
That's
won the Super Bowl
politics,
'cause of
man.
me.
That's so garbage.
No,
It-
that's
it
exactly
was.
what it was. Yeah.
It was. So if Marshawn said he laughed straight in Pete Carroll's face and then walked into the locker room right after that happened. He didn't even stay to watch the touchdown or the extra kick.
I wouldn't either.
Nah, it's just that's funny to me. But like, because in my mind, if I'm a football coach, I don't care what anything is other than like I'm here, I need to win.
Right. All right.
NFL is for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.